Alright. I'm WaVdium. Welcome back to a patch notes. I haven't posted the actual still sets yet. But there is a notice about the April 2nd update. We have a Mili concert. Or these are the concert goods for the 1 Million Moon tour. So here's what they're trying to sell. That's $60 for a shirt? 32 for a small water for the same price for a bag? What? Oh, there's Dante. There's $12 for those. There's one of your logo things. There's the like the things for the songs there. Are those blind bags? That's unfortunate, definitely. Wow, these are some atrocious pricing, I must say. I know it's like, oh yeah, it's like a merchandise thing. There's no excuse to just completely rip people off, I feel like. Are these the same image? I think they are. Alright. We have, yeah, it's $3.29. Wait, that was yesterday. Oh, well, and there's the ring thing at known issues and hotfix. I think I covered that already, didn't I? Or no, that was after these two, actually, so it should be new. Let me just refresh here. So we have notice version 1.101.1 known issues and hotfix ETA. So affected achievements 9 total. Defeat the 4 Charm Wonder Doubt textbook, Waiting Artwork, and the Unserving Feedbacks bosses with 3 or more. The House of Spires identities of LCB, Sinner, Ryoshu, and Yorota. I already did that before the achievements. Oh, I have to do it again now. All right. Defeat the Heartbreaking Feedback with 3 or more Roofing Heights. Okay, it's just all of the ones. The theme pack boss of Sync. Oh, the infinite process of the non-blood fiend ones. Alright. Beat the Murder on the Warp Express with 4 or more blood fiends. On confronting with 2 or more mechanical amalgam identities in your loadout. What? Multi-track? And then the new ring. Medical in District 20 with only Heathcliff and Don Trixote. Oh, wow. A beautiful voice with Wildhunt Heathcliff identity on the field. Oh, Heathcliff Extreme. Defeat the 5 Murder on the Whip Express, Buckdack, with Master Reopening, remaining with the manager from Master and Don Trixote identity on the field. Oh. It's usually talked about forfeiting immediately after entering the bossy town and re-entering with a different team loadout. But even when entering with different loadout, game reads the previous team loadout instead. Achievements that should be or shouldn't be compatible. Completable current loadout are not completed or completed. Okay, so if you just left it and then went to change teams, like, oh, I brought the wrong team, oops, it would still count your first team. So you could go into it with the, like the ones for the challenge and then still like your normal team. Yeah, the team check is not properly update with the team's turn loadout. The total is inserted in the game via that update for the achievement tracking. 10-minute delay, hotfix is already fixed. It's where 30 times are missing BGM and connected lyrics. Oh. Wait, hold on a second. I think I actually got this bug earlier. So, it's the result of such update. 30 times are missing BGM, so not that one. But this one. Here's extreme feedback. Brutal Infinity. Enemy unit surgery keyword does not work. Because I did a live stream yesterday where I did take that pack. And I was surprised when the, Do You Want to Be Hurt Badly died so fast. I wasn't paying attention to I was reading A Christmas Carol. But I think that might have happened. I'm gonna recheck the live stream, but that might have happened. I might have taught that live on YouTube. Alright. And now we have the April 2nd scheduled update notice. Make the window smaller. Oh man. Did I move it around? What am I moving? The High Guard rules? Really? What? Alright. New content. Target extraction. The House of Spires. The Ring. Nursefather. Hong Lu and Apprentice Faust. Using 7 identities, Zisang, new package, don't buy those. I say projection improvements, but I say no longer repeat the same animation if the underlying identity has more toys than the projected identity. The underlying identity has more still toy animations than the projected identity. It will now play random animations pulled from the project identity animation pool to cover for the toy disparity. Then play the projected identity's corresponding still animation to end still sequence. The randomized animations will be pulled from the projected identities still 1 or 2 toy animations. However, if underlying toy identities animation is shorter than 1 second, and if the random projected animation length is double or longer than that of the underlying identity, then we'll play a trash animation instead. Example, when using still free, if the manager wrestler on Don Trixote, visit over W Torp, level 2 Agent Don Trixote, Pre-update tournament mission sequence play as follows. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, free. Post-update tournament mission sequence play as follows. Random. 1, 2, free. No, random, 1, 2, free. Issue when projecting facades of or on certain identities cause the resultant animation range to vary will be fixed. Affected identities 7 total. Obama Ego Song Moment Yi Song. Obama Ego Rancher Don Tricks Out. Edger Family Chief Butler Ryoshu. District 20 WaVdium Hong Lu. Don Office Structure Sinclair. Obama Ego Magic Board Otis. Totem with Friend Tatton Dreger. The issue with using certain still 2s or more times. Stills 2 or more times to cause the resulting animation range to vary will be fixed. Example, when using Misfit N still with Entorp Ego to attempt all Ryoshu facade over Obama Ego Faint and Roman Solitude Ryoshu. For image speed is to vary after using still 2 or more times. Image speed will remain consistent no matter how many times the still is used. Alright. The issue we're using still free while projecting facades of certain identities to cause similar animations to play twice will be fixed. Effect identities free total. 6 South Section 5 Director Don Tricks Out. Wu South Section 4 Ishmael. Wu South Section 4 Director Rodion. Issue was some of the Prince of Amacho and Merceau's voice ones would play even if projected with Obama Ego Hornet Merceau's facade will be fixed. And the facade projection menu UI icon 30 will be improved to show which facades are currently projected. Mirror of Nameless Spiders updates. Part 3 will be added. Oh no, why did I do my extreme run? I thought it was already over. I thought that was the still a combat and completion category. Dang, why did I already do my extreme adversity 50 run? Intermediate 20 life fruits will be deployed. They will now work user when proceeding without selecting all selectable ego diffs. The support will appear in the starting ego diffs menu if the number of selected ego diffs is below the maximum selectable number. The function can be disabled by checking the Don't Show This Message Again option in the Alert pop-up window or toggling this option off in the settings menu. In the Choice Event UI, the Stip button's location will be moved and will have improved visibility. The Stip button to stip the Choice Event story will be placed at the same location as where the return button is, making it more convenient to reach. Once the user has read or skipped the full strip, the Stip button will be placed with the return. Hidden theme packs suits of Miragen Hard will be added. Hidden theme packs have a very small chance to spawn in floors 3 to 10 of Miragen Named Spiders Hard. Hidden theme packs will have their exclusive choice events, triggering them will yield exclusive ego diffs. Hidden theme packs under ego diffs will not be recorded in the respective compendiums, and will not affect the selection category of achievements. While extra more diffs in the ego diffs compendium, I'll 70 or more hard theme packs. Hidden theme packs and their exclusive ego diffs cannot be found using pack search or diff search function. That's horrible. Why? Why not just have them be normal? I'm assuming it's gonna have certain bosses. And it's only for what was it? Just Imagine Hard. Yeah, so I'm assuming newer fights, or maybe they'll have the hidden bosses available in those, which would be good if you actually fix like the fixed thing. Like these are what you select, like run them for 410 maybe. So if you're running a certain team, like the middle or the FOB, means it's like, oh, when we did the Pacific theme pack for those characters at 410, guaranteed. No, you did them random now. But they put the like the final boss of Unsevering there as a hidden one. That would suck when you're running the House of Spiders. You can't even get it. Bug fixes and improvements. Fixes to where Obama Ego, Red Eyes and Pestilence Ryoshu's unique keywords, Red Eyes and Pestilence, were displayed twice each, solves the issue. Obama Ego, Red Eyes and Pestilence Ryoshu is designed so that, through the passive ego simulation, gaining charge count grants either Red Eyes or Pestilence instead. This issue was caused by an error where, when the effect gain charge count next turn was triggered, the buff stage maintained this turn, and the stage to be gained if the next turn were not added to debtor if their levels differed. Issue fixed: when gaining charge count this turn via the buff stage of Red Eyes or Pestilence, the corresponding buffs gained via gain charge count next turn will now also charge and stack accordingly. I just woke up just to record these patch notes. I ate a sandwich. I was a bit hungry, so I ate a sandwich there. Oh man, this thing's pretty bad, honestly. I'm not mixing mayonnaise and mustard again. I don't like it. Fix an issue where ego diff that activate based on the sum of charge count and unique charge on self would incorrectly use the sum of charge or unique charge count and unique charge potency for identities with unique charge. With an ego diffs, Initiative Generator, Fragment of Friction, Biogenerative Battery, Perpetual Generator Servos, Robot Identity, Robot Ego in the name of Love and Hate, Don Tricks Out, cause of issue. The unique charge included in trigger iterations for these ego diffs refer to stack-only unique charge with fixed potency, e.g. Deep Tears. For unique charge types that include both potency and taps such as Love and Hate, the intention was to include only the taunt trigger in calculations, just like the taste of charge. However, as these diffs were created before such unique charge type existed, their text descriptions were not updated to specify unique charge fixed potency. Additionally, an accepted logic in calculating unique charge potency was missing, causing the potency of Love/Hate, which shares specs of charge, to be included in the What? Actually I pressed start streaming. No, computation. I'm gonna remove the YouTube from the stream thing real quick. It's happened so often, alright? It's happened so often. Custom that. Stream T. Just put, yeah. Apply. Alright. Issue fixed. The issue has been fixed, so that only the sum of charge count, including unique charge count and unique charge fixed potency, is taken into account. To avoid confusion, the phrasing for unique charge and these diffs has been updated to unique charge fixed potency. We apologize for any confusion caused by the issue. The issue where the House of Spiders indexes for Yi-Sung to not use ego stills under certain conditions during battle issue details. Proceeding to the next turn about using an ego still he tricked in the previous turn, Percussion Hermes uses 9 stacks after changing a tricked ego still to defense still. Comp passive Imitation of Life changes the bottom leftmost still to still free, the ego can no longer be used. Buffers improvements. Issue where the passive of Boss Rune LCB regular checkup behave differently from its description. Relevant passive adaptation, maladaptation, both adaptation and maladaptation effects behave according to the maladaptation tax, while the maximum points potency and taunt obtainable per turn had differing taps for each effect. Both adaptation and maladaptation now function according to the respective descriptions. There's issue where combat patterns and effects were not activated during the first wave of multi-wave encounters in the Mayor of Nameless Spider's Extreme Theme Pack, also issue. During wave data updates to certain encounters, the validation of strips applied to the encounter occurred at an unintended timing. Issue fixed. Adjusted the strip validation timing to function as intended. Issue where the event currency amassed data obtainable from LCB order check of Bok Dak would accumulate up to the maximum exchangeable amount even if one-time exchange rewards has already been obtained. Issue was where amassed data would accumulate additionally based on the amount previously used for the exchanges in the past event. You can still obtain the maximum amount of amassed data to return all currently available rewards after the fix. Fixed issue where interacting with the UI would cause redirection to unintended streams upon returning to LCB regular checkup Bok Dak UI event UI after viewing its story content. Issue where certain trash animations Dart and Invade were not displayed during combat. Issue where transportation numbers display format would not change even after viewing the Risk Revels and Transportation's mini side story while progressing through chapter 5.5 and 7.5. Issue where the effects of certain ego stills were not displayed properly. Relevant ego free total. Hexel Faust and the Brosmstar Ishmael and Rajerman Dragor. Ian Oni. This issue where keyword highlights were missing in the thread splitting UI for certain ego. 11 ego, 7 total. Fourth match for Nissan, Hexnail Faust, Redret Merceau, Yas Santara Tadribam Heathcliff, Renter Sinclair, Centaur Otis, and Rajerman Dragor. Bug fixes and improvements. Ian Oni improved phrasing consistency for certain ego stills and passives to match the latest text. Still phrasing 10 total. Hexnail Faust, Ender Blossom Star Faust, Fourth match playing Mario Shoot, Extra Streaming Merceau, Yas Santara Tadrupam Heathcliff, Bygone Days Hishamal, What is Has Rodion, 2 Pathos Battles Otis, Magic Poet Otis, Renter and Dreger. The phrasing consistency, alright, for uses and passives. Passive phrasing 43 total. Throws Eye View Yi-Song, Fourth Match Flame Yi-Song, Wishing Terran Yi-Song, Dumpster Shredder Yi-Song, Sunsour Yi-Song, Repression Emitter Faust, Hexnail Faust, Fruit Sack Faust, Telepool Faust, Asanga Di Tanso Dom Trixout, Fruit Sack Dom Trixout, Lifetime Sue Dom Trixout, Telepool Dom Trixout, Force of the Friends Ryoshu, Fourth Match Flame Ryoshu, Red Eyes Ryoshu, Opener Twos. Chains of Others Merceau, Struous Wallop Merceau, Redret Merceau, Tapote Merceau, Ren of Illusion Hong Lu, Rosary Desire Hong Lu, Ripper Shredder Hong Lu, Soda Hong Lu, Bodysack Heathcliff, Telepo Heathcliff, Sonya Tada Tadrupam Heathcliff, AEDD Heathcliff, Silent Harpoon Ishmael, Rosary Desire Ishmael, Tapote Ishmael, Fourth Match Flame Rodion, Innocent Trial Rodion, Bridge of Knowledge Sinclair, Lifetime Sue Sinclair, Righteous Sinclair, Two Pathos Baffles Otis, Ebony Sam Otis, Yas and Tada Tadrupam Otis, Suddenly One Day Dregger, Regiment Dregger, Rantran Dregger, AEDD Dregger. 3 keyword phrasing, 2 total. Hussar's Blood, Sinclair's Fire Burying Pin, 100-foot Death Maggot, Ishmael's Centipede Venom. 2 total. 3 ego keyword phrase, 2 total. User text standardization updates will be gradually implemented to match the latest text. Known issues. An issue where acting the effect in this encounter when ally takes damage with Tildum, assume all charge out unique charge on self. Then maybe heal 10 plus sum of charge out unique charge consumed HP of the Ego Diff Perpetual Generator Servos. The effect would consume the potency of unfixed unique charge, as opposed to design potential of consuming charge count unique charge fixed potency only. 300 lunacy! Where are the tits? So, I'm just talking right here. We know they're gonna be dual status. We know they're gonna be as much as I want this pure bleed with debuffs and buffs mixed in, they're going to be dual status. So, considering they're mechanical ones, maybe they might do charge? Or, yeah, if charge, poise already has, Faust has 2 for bleed poise. I don't think they would do a third bleed poise specifically for Faust. That would be ludicrous. No, why would they do that? Afterwards, Hong Lu doesn't have, only has 2-star bleeds being Hook and Turotumo. But it's not King Tang Hong Lu, which has bleed on the still one. I'm considering if they have it on all stills, not just single still, like some older ones do. I mean, do Town 7 ratios Rupture when the Rupture's heads hit under still 1 only? They're slash. They are slash. Anyways, so, my guess is charge. Alright, we'll see what it is. Alright, we're here. I can't really read it. Wait, hold on. Bleed? Wait. Pure bleed? Yes! Is that pure bleed I see? Hold on. Okay, so Butcher Ribs. Iron Maiden exclusive still. Gain Transfer for X types of negative effect on target. Gain 5 for X bleed on target. 1. Bleed count. 2. Defense level down. And gain defense level... It's pure bleed! Yes! Alright. Fascia Hungers. Iron Maiden exclusive still. Unused. Gain Transfer for X types of negative effects on target. Gain 5 for X bleed on target. At X plus Torpus Dream Tap to assume Y Torpus Dream Tap gain following effects. Gain Trash Power for Foul Torpus to Unbreakable Torrent. First turn, bleed count. Second turn, bind next turn. Free gain Torpus Ingredient. Let's see what Torpus Ingredient is. Unique chop. Okay, actually it's unique charge here. Fixed potency, max 2. Wait, were all of them unique charge? Okay, yeah, I actually didn't read that. It's like, oh, I just assumed it was just a status effect. I didn't know that status effect counted as unique charge. Alright, repressed fresh. 4 toys. I make exclusive still. Gain 5 for X bleed on target. Add X plus Torpus Ingredient count to assume up to Y Torpus Ingredient count taking the following effects. Gain final power. Do more damage for X charge count every count consumed. Oh. I haven't said about every Y. So you consume up to 2 of them then. On hit, effect bleed. On hit, effect bind next turn. Free on effect damage down next turn. At 4, deal more for X types of negative effect on target. On hit, inflict bleed count. Okay, and those are the Self-Bound Flow State ones. So what's over here? Trash Iron Maiden ones. Exhibition arrangements. I mean, so still, trash one. Inflict bleed count on the attacker. Deal pierce damage equal to bleed potency times X on the attacker. And defense 2. That's for the other one. Alright. What's this one then? Oh, that's Trustful Towner for, what was it? That's for, when you're protecting the, you know, Hong Lu over here. Wait, is it only gonna be just for the 2, or will it be for everyone? I actually don't know. Let me check the passives real quick. Iron Maiden. Then I go to the leftmost still spot. There's our danger protection, defensive weapon, shield HP equal to X% of the unit's turn HP. Hit by the last turn of an attacker. Deal pierce damage equal to X of the said turn's damage and bleed count. Okay, so this starts with Iron Maiden, rated to self-amount flow state, min-max speed, new set of base dose, do more base attack dose to enemies whose speed is slower than this unit. Artwork Fascia. Part of following effects against base attack skills, just times based on Torpus Ingredient potency. At X plus, gain base power, Y plus, balance bleed uniquely, deal more damage. Z plus, affect more bleed potency and count. At N plus, gain base power. Somatic, efficient, spearing melody. They minimax speed, base attack skills, gain flash power, and deal more damage. I think that is the buff that Hong Lu can give them. Let's read the password. Fascia, my precious artwork. Upon entering a town first time, gain +% of ring allies on the field times X Torpus Ingredient count. So, is it not going to be maxed out at 2 here? Turn end, lose count. So, still end. If the still dealt HP or shield damage, then Torpus Ingredient count. If target is stilled, initial Torpus Ingredient count. Oh, so it's not even gonna follow how it worked in here. I should have assumed, because it's mentioned on still 2, consuming it, when it's supposed to be the one that gains it. So instead of it being how it's supposed to be with Albina, getting it from what would be her still 2, it would gain up to 2 Torpus Ingredients. Once it has 2, it will do their special still, repressed fresh. Instead of that, it will be work like normal charge, but they gain it mostly from consumes what? The target is tilled. If the still dealt HP or shield damage, it sustains it. So it's a damage-based charge Daning, except for the Dane it on here, which is the equivalent of that still on Albina. I don't know how I feel about that. Why they want to make it inaccurate? I don't know. This is pretty normal for IDs, I guess. Base attack stills and transport counter stills count as stills that Dane charge count. Because it's on hits. Alright. Armor protection and repression. Okay, no, if it's via higher than Armor Fascia. Yeah, oh. One entry type first time than Iron Maiden. Wait, let me go back. If you have Armor Fascia, this uses Iron Maiden and gains the self-unbound flow state. When staggered, triple staggers, swing 4 staggers. Inspired by critique. Double the amount of speed and trash power. Damage buff gained from Psalmic Vision Inspiring Melody. On hit, if attack still inflicted a negative effect, heal SP at attack end. Use SP is at max and slash damage up next turn when this unit heals SP with this effect. Support passive, Remain Spikes. When hit, allies with that equipped defense skills under swats this turn, inflict bleed on the attack. If attacker already has bleed, inflict bleed count instead. Alright, now let's go to the flow state one. So we'll go to the defense still first here. So, Dane assist defense. Inflict bind this next turn to attacker. Dane haste next turn. Alright, and then this is the assist defense. So it's for everyone. It's not just for... we won't fight them as a duo in the main story, but it is for everyone. Alright. Doing Hong Lu also have that. No acts of vandalism allowed. If a battle force exclusive still, the more for X types of negative effects on target, then tone power for X bleed on target. At X plus torpus ingredient count, assume Y torpus ingredient count to gain following effects. Dane trash power. If the found toin on this still to unbreakable toin. First toin bleed town, second toin bleed. Now butcher ribs. So that's the same name. It is, but so bleed town, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing for the actual on toin, but the difference at the start. So trash power for X on first one. This is deal more damage. All right. And there's fire power on the Iron Maiden one. X bleed, Dane fire for X bleed. Yeah, so it's different. So this is damage. That one has flash power. Oh wait, this div stuff over here. Minimax speed with base whose enemies are slower than this unit. Does that will trash higher or lower? So time for your meal fascia. So this is no trash power. This thing's final power for bleed on target. X plus torpid ingredient assume Y torpus ingredient count. 2 Dane the following effects. Trash power, the found toin is still to unbreakable toins. Yeah, it's not unbreakable by default, which is like the one that Dane's the thing. So first one is bleed count. Is it the same? This one also has Dane haste next turn. So this one, when you're in this state, it has the speed thing for more damage. So it adds haste to the second toin, and then it's the same thing for the other parts of the still. And then with vibration and repressed fresh consumed to when compared to repressed fresh. So more than excess attack weight. So this is when we have the saw hand. This one doesn't have attack weight. Now the actual number of actual targets that focus the counters depart. Then final power for X bleed on the main target. X plus torpus ingredient count consume up to Y torpus ingredient count in the following effects. Final power. Deal more damage for X count consumed. X plus torpus ingredient gain attack weight. For all stills on this still to unbreakable toins. So bleed. And then next one, bind, but this one also means haste next turn here to the other one. This one fixes damage, but this one also means Dane slash damage up next turn. Are they mono slash? Yeah, they're mono slash. Then the fourth toy, deal more damage for X types of negative effects on target, inflict bleed count. Deal more damage, inflict bleed count. Yeah, so this one just means the additional haste slash up, and also the AoE based on torpus ingredient, and unbreakable toins. Alright, and this thing that's it for their tip. Yeah, I'm assuming good for bleed. Of course, put them with the ring ones. You have to charge count at start. Okay, so I wish they didn't have I wish it was just the 2 charge count on Albina over here. But yeah, let's just go with the Hong Lu now, who, so everyone knows, yeah. So in his animations, it showed his thing growing spikes on the sword. So he does have a pierce. This is untrashable thing. I don't think that was it. So I think he is also mostly slash here, but he has a single untrashable pierce one. Alright, I'm assuming it's gonna be Torpus Radiant, unique charge. Viewing the tableau. If house spies ring Apprentice Faust on the field, then protection at turn start. Turn end lose X stack. Torpus Theater. Reduce Dane's bleed from enemy attacks, so remedy X of following effects, so that's next turn. Lose Y stacks effect, bleed potency, bind defense power down. Artwork to be upon the following effects, units base attack skills and transfer time is based on torpus ingredient potency. Power, bleed unique bleed more damage, more bleed potency and talent. This also inflict more bleed potency and talent. Yeah, more bleed potency and talent. And they also have the somatic vision inspiring melody. Minimax speed, but attack skills and trash and do more damage. Yep. Alright, so more passive, maybe skip this ass. Turn and off inflict offensive damage, bleed count next to one enemy with fastest speed and focus damage apart. So first passive, Magnum Opus Tibia. But after you count the first time, Dane ring hours on field times X 12% radiant count. Still end if it's still without HP damage or shield damage, then 12% radiant count. Target is still Dane doing with 12% radiant count. Then 12% radiant every time it assumes X to who of char no 12% radiant count in this counter. If the above effect brings the unit's 12% radiant proceed extra higher, then artwork Tibia. Base attack still drops times count as still the Dane charge count, as it's gonna be on hit. This is X and then yeah, so HP damage or shield damage. That's it. It's just been on hit then. Since if it's just on hit, it's gonna do something with some like HP or shield damage. Why? That's gonna be like really confusing. And I feel it's gonna be a bug for that. Actually, I think it's a bug for that. All right. So upon entering the tower first time, Dane X viewing the tableau. When reflection allied identities, you still lose X viewing the tableau. The unit does not have viewing the tableau. Place one of its space tiles of frozen time in switching art number 1. Your flesh and bones as the diary seats at next turn. Purchase is still in the leftmost still slot, bottom low on the dashboard. The place still becomes inaccessible due to replaced by different still. Activate the bubble effect to dead. Turn end. When you with stagger first time into tower, under this effect, remove stagger to enforce stagger. So they did the viewing tableau at the start. And then they lose that X stack or when a ring ally uses a still. And then once that is done, once that runs out, they did their, what was it? The, what was it? It's reached art number on your flesh and bones as a dowry seats. So what's the still do that? Still free too. The warriors are X attack weight beyond the actual number of targets. Attacking just one target, do more damage. X was torpid radiant count, 2 less wide torpid radiant count, and the following effects. Final power, the warriors are X torpid radiant count consumed, the X torpid radiant count, and Y attack rate. For all ring identities, heal SP and apply somatic fission inducing melody. Wait, how does it's not on Biz, how did they did it? I don't think Albina did this. Wait. How did wait, why isn't there tit then? Move over here. Yeah, I don't see. I just think it's only from this then. So first toy, bleed. Second toy, bind. Next turn, haste. Next turn. Third toy, damage down next turn, and Dane slash damage up next turn. Fourth, bleed down. Fifth, dealing once for X types of negative effect on target, burn. And Torpus Theater. Which Torpus Theater is this one over here, which is retains bleed if enemy attacks you, retains X of falling effects, which is why attack its effects, potency, bind, defense power down. Now they're like activate or passive. Before House of Spires, Ring Apprentice Faust uses its still free, except Ego stills. House of Spires, the Ring for Hung uses my, how we love the flesh and blood on Faust. On hit, if the attacks inflict a negative effect, heal SP at turn end. If you use SPs at max, then slash damage up next turn. This heals SP. Is that this ringy songs thing, but slash, but instead of offense level? Slash damage up, so it doesn't help with flashing, but damage up for mostly slash. And then what is that still? My, how you love the fashion, but it's not trigger defense stills. Trigger effects, it's not trigger specific reuse. Its attack does not hit on you to buy offense level up on target. So that's the buff that the phosphor they use there. Still free. But except ego stills. But ego stills are not still free. Why even is that text needed? Why is that there? Alright, let's look at their actual attacks. So Anonymatize. Deal more for X types of negative effects on target. On you, staying final power for X, bleed on target. First hit on hit to hit, inflict bleed. Second, inflict defensive level down next turn. Third, gain defensive level up next turn. So two, add ingredient blood bathed object. Object? Is that improper spelling or object? 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 I think it was French. I searched it up too. But the idea is blood bathed object. Final power for X breed type on target. More damage for every X have a negative effect on target. X plus torpus ingredient count consumed by torpus ingredient counting the following effects. Gain fresh power for foul torn still to unbreakable toin. First, bleed count. Second, bind next turn. Gain haste next turn. Third, gain torpus ingredient count. Turns X have negative effects. These are some art number 3 implies vintage still against the target, which is this one. Is not trigger defense stills. Consume X torpus ingredient count for bleed. You measure X have negative effect on target. Deal SP damage. Your SP and inflict torpus theater. Alright. So if there's X with negative effects though, so this is a constant follow up on that. They have X with negative effects. I don't know how many negative effects at that. And they're first still free. To be its melody, an augmentation of the unautomized by the automized. Unautomized? What? Deal more damage to X type of its attack weight beyond the number of actual target force times depart. Then find power for X bleed on the main target. X plus torpus ingredient town consume up to Y torpus ingredient town and then the following effects. Gain final power, deal more damage for X torpus ingredient town consume. At X plus torpus ingredient, gain Y attack rate. Convert all turns still to unbreakable toins. First hit, inflict bleed. Second, bind next turn, gain haste next turn. Third, damage down next turn, then slash damage up next turn. 4, deal more damage for X type of negative effects on target, and then on hit, inflict bleed count. Defense. Curating exhibition. Top start Dane assist defense. Inflict bind next turn against the attacker on invade, and on invade Dane haste next turn. Alright, and we have please vandalism is prohibited. What? Oh, Assist defense loses still. Do more X types of negative effects on target. Gain torn power X bleed on target. Assume at X torpus ingredient town, assume Y torpus ingredient town, taking the following effects. Crash power for found turns breakable toin, bleed town, bleed. So with the bleed count, yeah, with their thing, the was artwork to be they should be good for actually keeping bleed count, maybe, or I don't know if it's usually they've been doing like 2 bleed count on the still 2s like constantly, so if it's on multiple stills, as it is over here as well for 21, 22. So if it's more than 1, and then this additional bonus from their special charge consumption thing, then they should be pretty good at keeping bleed, which is negative effect. They have other negative effects as well, being the damage down, bind, stuff like that. So it should be fine. There's also the other ring ones as well, once you use the other 2 ring, maybe. And those ones have the, the turn-based like count they could apply, tremor burn. So those also be a negative effect to keep on them. Of course, if you're looking at their thing, Boss does have more options for bleed than Hong Lu. Because Hong Lu, except for besides Ting Tang Dang Meter, there's Turu Mao and Hook. And of course, they both have Rust still free as like their big damage thing is going to be Rust. So Rust on both their defense stills and still free, which actually I think it's really common nowadays. Is that the main status effect like Sin Affinity is going to be their still free and then their defense still for easy res for defense stills, but with the high thing also I haven't even compared how their stills. Okay, it won't really like work comparing them, I feel like. So I have Dawistro over here. It provides Ribcage over here. Yes, it's 220 here. It's supposed to be a Rust. Why is it Envy? Oh no, this is just what you did with the Middle Apprentice Ishmael, where they changed Crossing Dervis to be Raph when it's supposed to be some other one. Was it Pride? Yeah, it's supposed to be Pride, I think. They changed it to be Raph so it can mirror Ru Ishmael's, like, completely just mirror their sin affinities. Anonymized, it's supposed to be Unbreakable, but it's not here. It's supposed to be Gluttony. Why is it Pride? Oh no. Yeah, this is Fragile Protection compared to defense level down, defense level up next turn. It's because of course this identity, it's not supposed to be the exact same, but you know, the sin affinities shouldn't really be changed for the still, I feel like. Blood-bathed object. Huh. That's supposed to be a Gluttony. How is it an Envy? Okay, so that one was a cheese. So this is getting my 2 Gluttonies, but there's no Gluttony. Oh, how we love flesh and blood. Prices bring Apprentice Albina. Yeah, it's supposed to trash that too so they don't get the buff. But here, it's just an untrashable thing, just to buff them immediately. It's Pride. Yeah, they kept the Pride thing, alright? 6 offense level up it shows here. And inflict free bleed count. It doesn't inflict the bleed count for some reason, but I'm assuming maybe they'll half it to free, I feel like. Was it? This one is what? So that is right. That is the right thing. Of course, this is more complex as a boss enemy, not an identity. So, Res period. So it should be. I'm gonna turn that right off real quick. Okay, everything's so bright now as I turn it off. So it's supposed to be a Wrath here, but it's a Rust here for the Transport Counter. I don't know why they want to change it. It's Slash, Retort, Slash, Rush, Slash, Rush, Rush. Except for the Improvised Ribcage, that's Pierce, that's right. And then Installation Art number 1. That's supposed to be a Pierce. There's also a single toy in here because it's just like the ending the fight thing. But here it's a 5-toy swash still. Target Torpus Feeder. Yeah, it doesn't have that, of course. Yeah, so there's a lot of inaccuracies again. Of course, I would have preferred if they had like the old Torpus ingredient. Oh, Torpus ingredient bones. Why didn't you use this? It's blood. So they had 2 different unique charges. But instead here, they just did the 1 Torpus ingredient, same as Albina. I always complain about the inaccuracy. This is, you know, it's just, oh wow, that's a bit wrong. But of course, these will both be good. They're modern identities. Dual status. Hopefully they inflict a good amount of bleed. But yeah, so leave this here. There's nothing else on the Steam community, right? Let's read the comments. Chainsaw Faust says seg. I can't read that. Is it a Zizzy? Hot. Rimbilia's sleeper agent. Charge was will be breast this season. IA. Nah, free defense was trace, but even trace is Faust is probably the only idea to have bleed count on all stills. Like free IDs 267. Frost, Tremors, and channels. 100 years of mouse and World Blue Tremor teams once again. Refrain from franking the Trankers. Trankers of Trebly Peak. Damned OPIDs and check. IDs. Callisto Hong Lu have burned Bernstein forever. Richard Antoratio has 10 Australs as well. Need my fun place. Feng Hunt Hong Lu. I hate the community. Oh, I just. Okay. Envy, still 2. The middle. House of Spiders team. This assuming will help with the Envy res for that. Oh man. That's why they changed these still affinities? Just for the middle? For the ring identities to work with the middle? Because they're both bleed? Oh man. I mean, it's also fit in the Pequod team as well, I guess, but. Oh no, I'm gonna go back to sleep or something.